Hello Percussion, today we're continuing the full down tap and upstroke as well as introducing keyboard percussion in week 5 of beginner percussion class. Here we go. Before we dive right into keyboard, we're going to take a look at our full down, tap, and upstrokes once again. Go ahead and pull up your exercise called Percussion Stroke Exercises. Once again, you can find that in the link in the description of the video. Check that out. Let's review a couple more of those exercises. So now let's look at number 3 in our Percussion Stroke Exercises page. In this one, we're going to start in the down position, and we're going to play our tap and then our upstroke. So, as usual, we've got to make sure that we do the process first. Make sure you do this with your teacher or just do this on your own. We're going to start in that down position, and before we actually play anything, we're going to make sure we put our metronome on 60 beats per minute, and we're going to say tap, up, reset. And we're going to come up, or stay up rather, on re, and then come back down on set. So make sure we go through that process, and I'll go ahead and play number 3C with you guys right now. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. So now let's combine all 4 different types of strokes into one exercise on our same percussion stroke exercises page that we've been dealing with. So, as usual, we'll make sure to do the process first before we play even one note. We want to make sure that we air stick and we actually say full, down, tap, up, and go through the whole exercise at 60 beats per minute first, and then we can attempt to play the exercise. Let's you and me play number 4C with our double stops together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Finally, number 5 on our percussion stroke exercises page deals with downstrokes and upstrokes back to back, and that happens quite often as percussionists. So as usual, we'll go through the process, make sure that we air stick, say the sticking, as well as say the different types of strokes before we play the exercise itself. Let's play this together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And now let's introduce the keyboard and talk about the musical alphabet on our keyboard. First thing we see is that we see 2 rows on the keyboard. There's the bottom row, where there's a bunch of notes all next to each other, no gaps at all. We're going to call that the naturals row. The top row of the keyboard has some gaps in it, and you can kind of see there's a pattern here. There's 3, then 2, then 3, then 2. It repeats itself. We're going to call that the accidentals part of the keyboard. Let's go ahead and find the note C real quick. The note C is the note on the bottom of the keyboard before the 2 accidental keys. Remember, the accidentals are the elevated keys on top of the keyboard. That's how I find the note C. It's the note right below the 2 accidentals. I can do the same thing by finding the note F here. The note F is located on the bottom of the 3 accidentals, so that's another natural key before the 3 accidentals. That's where my note F is. Using our knowledge of the musical alphabet, we can actually find the rest of the notes on the keyboard. We know that if we go to the left, we're going backwards in the alphabet. So if I know where C is, the note to the left of that must be B. The note to the right of C must be D. Same thing with the note F. We can count all the way up from C to D to E to F, even to G, and then we can even count up to the next note on the right, which would be A, because we know that our musical alphabet restarts after G. Now, even though we know that that top row of keys are called the accidentals, we're not going to mess with those a whole lot this first week especially. We're just going to focus on the naturals, that musical alphabet on the bottom set of our keys. Let's talk about reading the staff quickly. We already know that the bottom of the treble staff is E. We know that the lines are E, G, B, D, and F, and the spaces are F, A, C, and E. But we can have a little quick way of remembering how to read those lines. And everyone, I'll tell you this right now, everyone has a different way to remember those lines of the staff quickly, but we can use the phrase, every good boy does fine, that's my favorite phrase, to read the lines of the staff from bottom to top. In the spaces, however, we can just use the word that's spelled out there. F-A-C-E spells out the word face. So whenever we read the lines and spaces of the treble clef quickly, we can use that phrase, every good boy does fine, and our knowledge of the spaces spelling out face from bottom to top. Let's talk a little bit about the technique when we're playing with mallets on our keyboard percussion instruments. Mallet technique is just like drum technique, except our balance point is slightly higher than 1/3 of the way up the mallet. So not quite up to halfway, but a little bit higher up 1/3 of the way from the bottom. Make sure to have plenty of wiggle room between your mallet and your palm when you play with keyboard mallets. For now, the stroke types that we will play are going to be tap strokes. Later on, we can add full strokes to our repertoire, but for right now, we're going to play very low tap strokes, around 3 inches maximum. Now let's transition to Step 2A in our Simple Steps book by Ken Wiley. Just an important note here, remember to put your music stand low at the same height of your keyboard so that you can use your peripheral vision to read the music as you play your keyboard. If I move my music stand too high, it's a little bit harder for me to move my eyes from that stand down way below to the keyboard. I'd rather it be closer together, that way my eyes don't have to do so much work and I can use that peripheral vision. Let's look at number 1 in Step 2A of our book. It's entitled Rhythm Check. Go ahead and go through the process at 60 BPM, beats per minute. We know that process is to count, say the notes in time next. Then we're going to air stick and say the note names in time. And then finally, we're going to play. Now, before we start playing, it's important to note that we need to hit in the center of the bar. There's a string that runs along either side of the bar. Listen to what it sounds like if I hit on that string or that node. It's a much thinner sound than the middle of the bar. Make sure every time we play, we hit in the center of the bar. Now we're going to go ahead and start with this rhythm check here on page 8A, step 2A of your book. I just want to mention real quick that we can usually play a variety of different types of sticking whenever we play these exercises. When I say sticking, I mean our rights and our lefts. So for example, for this rhythm check, we could play this note C on all rights the first time, and then maybe on all lefts the second time. We could even do double stops. That's both hands at the same time. And then we can also play it with our alternating strokes, which all that means is that we're going to start on one hand and then play the other. So for example, if I played it alternating, it would be right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. We could also do this with what's called natural sticking, and that just means that our upbeats are going to be on the left hand and our downbeats are going to be on the right hand. Whenever we're playing quarter notes, beats 1 and 3 would be on the right, and then beats 2 and 4 would be on the left. So for example, this would be right, left, right, left, 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 right, left, left, right, right, left. So that's natural sticking. We should always strive to play every different possibility of sticking that we can think of for all of these exercises. One, two, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. Now go ahead and look at number 2. It's entitled New Notes. We've got multiple problems here, new notes D, E, F, and G. Go ahead and go through the same process that you did for number 1. And then finally, when you're ready, we can do this throughout the week, go ahead and go through numbers 1 through 6 on that second page whenever you are ready. And guys, that is it for week 5. As always, hope you guys have a great week. Happy drumming, and I'll see you next time.